Hey everybody, welcome to the Lifestyle Practice Podcast. Steve Vandegraff here. I'm recording this Thanksgiving week 2024. Hope you guys are enjoying a well-deserved break and having some good food with you and yours. My family and I are in Barcelona this week, so I'm sending you some warm Mediterranean weather your way. Something I've learned while being here that I'll share is that if you've ever wanted to travel to Europe, there are flights that are pretty inexpensive that will get you from the East Coast to Europe. And then once you're here, additional travel to different countries is very inexpensive. We just came here from Athens and the flights were under $50. Next week, we're going to Egypt, and then the week after that to London, and each of those flights is about $30 to $35. So if you play your cards right, you can actually do a lot of traveling without a lot of expense. So if you have some aspirations to go abroad and see the world, it's probably a lot closer than you think, and I'd be happy to connect with you on that if you're interested. Jumping into dentistry, today we're talking about no-shows. As my good friend Matt Vogt says, the most expensive thing in dentistry is an empty chair. So each missed appointment is an empty chair and it's costing you big. If you have a few a day, it's costing you a few $100 to $1,000+ every day. So if this is a regular problem, you need to get it under control. I'll say up front that you cannot eliminate no-shows. We can't control other people's actions, but there is a lot we can do to limit them. There are some offices that have tons of no-shows all the time. And there's other offices with the same patient demographic, same insurance participation, and they have far less of them. Why is this? Hint, it is not the patients. It's you. I'm going to give you some tips today to help you bring down your no-shows. These fall largely under two categories, logistics and then culture. Logistically, there's a couple really easy things you can do right away. The first is, if you're having new patients ghost you, you're probably scheduling out too far. Can you think of a date and time of a relatively unimportant hour in your schedule 3 months from now? Probably not. What's the first question most patients ask when they call a dental office? How soon can I get in? So it's really important to them. If you're scheduling new patient cleanings out 3 or 4 or 5 months, the chances are pretty high that they'll find another office before then that can get them in sooner. And since they don't have any loyalty with you, they're probably not going to call you back and explain. They'll just no-show. So if you schedule them in a week or two, then the odds are way better that they're going to come to your appointment. So have your front desk make sure you're scheduling in new patients quick. If your hygiene schedule is booked way out, that's a good problem to have. I recently did a podcast on how to address that challenge so you can still get new patients in right away. Go and check that out as a resource. For limited exams, you want to get them in even faster, within a couple days. If they're in pain, try to get them in today. Another logistical thing you can do to reduce no-shows is, on the hygiene side, make sure your confirmation system is solid. You don't want to reach out to patients a day or two before their appointment if it was set 6 months ago. You don't want to confirm people too early either without additional reminders because people can forget. A system that worked well for me was we would confirm all of next week's recall hygiene visits during this week's Monday and Tuesday. So we'd be confirming them about 7 to 10 days before their appointment. We did this using automated texting, and their responses would confirm the appointment right into our schedule. If they confirm, we would still send them a short text reminding them of their appointment 24 hours before and then 1 hour before. And this last text basically said, we look forward to seeing you in a little bit. Is that a lot of texts? Maybe, but I'd be happy to send one too many texts than have multiple people forgetting about their appointment because that's very expensive. If patients didn't confirm as we started this process 7 to 10 days before, we had a week plus to try to reach them. And then if we had to, we could replace the appointment if needed. So really easy. Logistically, right away, you can help with this problem by scheduling new hygiene patients way earlier. You can get limited exams in right away. And then you can rethink your confirmation system. Some really easy things. So do these first. If you do these things and you're still having a big issue with no-shows, your problem runs a lot deeper. Your office is unintentionally training your patients to not value your appointments. This principle is well expressed by a genius named Dr. Phil, who said, "You teach people how to treat you." In business, in friendships, in family, in life. The way we communicate with people teaches them how to treat us. What is acceptable, what is not. Offices that consistently have tons of no-shows have unintentionally taught their patients that it's all right not to come to their appointments. If a patient calls and cancels their appointment in an hour and the person who answers the phone just says, "Okay, no problem, just give us a call," the message we're sending is that the appointment was not important to begin with. And missing appointments is what people do at your office. If a patient no-shows to their Crown appointment after confirming it and then calls up next week and wants to schedule it, if your front desk doesn't say anything about the no-show, she's sending the message that appointments here are not a big deal. And if it's inconvenient, you can miss the appointment. So we have trained our patients unintentionally. Maybe we were trying to be kind, but we've trained them to not respect our time. If the office has been doing this for a long time, it is a lot of work to retrain all your patients, but you've got to retrain people how to treat you. Most of this is going to be the communication of your front desk, her words and her tone with patients. She educates patients on the importance of your time when she schedules their very first appointment. Something to the effect of, "All right, your appointment is set for Monday at 11 a.m. We have reserved an hour of Monica's time, our hygienist, to be with just you. I'll make you aware we do have a missed appointment policy. If you need to cancel or move your appointment, that's fine, but we need 48 hours beforehand. If something happens, will you let us know at least 2 days beforehand?" Pause, let them respond, and then say, "Yes, thank you. See you Monday at 11. Or, "We've reserved the chair with Dr. Jones for you Monday at 11 a.m. We will be ready for you at that time for your appointment. I remind you of our missed appointment policy. If you need to change your appointment, will you let us know at least 2 days before?" Let them answer. This is the language we're using. We're reserving appointments and hours for just them. We've allotted our time for them. We respect your time and we will be ready. This helps teach patients we respect each other's time. If somebody calls right before or during their appointment to cancel, your front desk needs to try to save that appointment. Instead of saying, "Okay, thanks for letting us know," which again teaches patients that there's no problem in stiffing you, the response should be surprised and disappointed. "Oh no," pause, awkward silence. "We reserved this appointment for you. Can you make it in the next little bit?" "It's all right, we'll wait for you." So save the appointment if at all possible. But even if you can't, you're at least sending the message that this is not normal. It's not okay. And in saying this, I understand you probably understand these principles, but that doesn't really matter since you're not the one scheduling the appointments. The thing that matters is your front desk is doing these things all day, every day. And I'll ask you, do you know what is being said? What's her response when people don't show? What's the language she's using when setting up appointments? Your front desk just has to be on point here. So I'd say listen to these conversations. Listen, from the operatory, listen to phone calls, whatever you need to do. You need to be aware of what's happening. And then if needed, you need to train. And that means role playing and having these conversations with her. You can also have a missed appointment fee to drive this message home. I had a missed appointment fee. Patients sign for it in their new patient documents. Basically states that you can charge people money if they no-show. Or you can at least have the policy, don't really enforce it, but use it as a threat. I've seen people do it both ways with success. Personally, I didn't feel $50 or whatever the amount was really worth alienating a patient for a first-time miss, but it was helpful to emphasize the seriousness of our appointments. And we were also able to kind of take the high road, if that makes sense. You miss your appointment, we're going to waive the missed appointment fee this one time. Let's communicate better going forward. And then a final point, if you have somebody who has missed multiple appointments, just stand up for yourself and dismiss them. Past performance is the best indicator for future behavior. If they've stiffed you over and over in the past, what makes you think they're going to suddenly change? Keeping them will cost you in future missed appointments, and it sends the message to your front desk that, maybe it's not that big of a deal to no-show. And finally, do your absolute best to not run behind. I know how hard this is in a busy office, but if people are waiting forever for their appointment, we're definitely not being respectful of their time. If we're always prompt, or if we give them notice in the rare case that we are running behind, we're demonstrating that we value their time. You treat them this way, we're modeling to them how to treat us. It's a mutual relationship built on trust. We've showed you that we respect your time, we're attentive to your experience, and you're committed to always following through with your appointments. We can trust each other more and more. So build a culture of trust between you and your patients. Like Dr. Phil says, teach people how to treat you. If you do this every day, over time, you will have a more reliable schedule. The goodwill you create in your practice, it will create patients that respect you and your team, and they're going to listen to you and trust you when you tell them what they need. Your days will be more predictable and less hectic. For more help with your practice in this area and in others, you can learn everything we've got in the Lifestyle Practice Academy, which is our online business course, or we can work with you in your practice and in your unique challenges with one-on-one coaching. Connect with us through email, Steve, Derek, or Matt at thelifestylepractice.com, and have a great week.